All right, welcome back. In our last explainer, we walked with little s and saw how they found this amazing clarity in the patterns of autumn. While today, we're shifting gears. We're going to follow a new avatar, Big S, right into the heart of winter. Think of it as a journey into the long night, a quiet walk to find out what kind of courage it takes to just be still and to listen.
So, you might remember this idea from our autumn journey. This idea that letting go isn't really about losing something. It's about becoming part of something bigger. Little Scolius learned to see the world's underlying logic in every single falling leaf. It was all about recognizing that hidden order in things. And that leads us perfectly to the big question for today. What happens when all those leaves are gone? When the world gets quiet and still? You know, it takes a totally different kind of strength. It's not about having the courage to see a pattern, but maybe having the courage to just endure the silence. Okay, so let's jump in. Our walk with Big S starts as evening falls, and the world is just full of these incredible contrasts. The air, it has teeth, it's sharp, but the city, well, it's learned how to smile right back. It's a world of warm, cozy light pushing back against that deep, biting cold. And this really gets to the heart of a winter city, doesn't it? It's a paradox. You've got this celebratory warmth all tangled up with the cold. You know, the smell of fresh pastries and those festive lights. But at the same time, there's the threat of black ice and that razor-sharp air. The two feelings just exist side by side, and that's what gives this season its unique feel. But Big S is picking up on another layer, something beyond just the physical world. It's like this invisible web of connection, a lattice of signals that's just humming above everything. We're talking about the public stuff, the weather maps on screens, the music streaming from a cafe, the city's Wi-Fi hotspots. It's like a digital campfire the city builds to keep its people connected when the cold tries to isolate them. So, as the night gets deeper, the city kind of exhales. All that loud, festive noise starts to fade away. And as it does, something else, a different and maybe truer kind of network, starts to bubble up from the quiet. That public network of just raw information, it totally changes its tune. It becomes what the source calls a field of feeling. Now, this isn't a feed you can just scroll through. It's more like a current you can sense. And it's made up of all these unspoken longings and these tiny private acts of courage, like someone somewhere just quietly making a cup of tea in an empty room. And here's the core idea of this whole journey. The act of just seeing these moments, of witnessing someone's solitude without jumping in to fix it, that becomes a form of care in itself. It's not about solving a problem, it's just about acknowledging the quiet bravery that's all around you. That's the whole idea of witness as tending. And you can actually see this idea in action in these really small, humble ways. Like on a public message board at a dark bus stop, you find these simple, anonymous messages. It's like the world is teaching itself how to care, one quiet sentence at a time, reminding all of us of this shared, kind of fragile hope we all have. Which brings us to the real climax of this walk. At true midnight, right in the quietest heart of a park, Big S comes face to face with a really important choice, a moment of absolutely profound connection. The source calls this moment the midnight conversation, and it's beautiful. At the center of the park, Big S sees the stars reflected in the dark water of a fountain, and those stars are then reflected back in the avatar's own eyes. It's this incredible moment of connection with the universe, a whole conversation that happens in total, complete silence. Now, in this moment, there's an internal struggle, that urge to do something, to help, to fix all the loneliness that's being felt in that network. It just swells up. But the real wisdom of winter is about restraint. It's about holding that warmth inside instead of acting on it. And by doing that, the fragile, perfect silence of the night is preserved. It's a powerful lesson in knowing when not to act. And this brings us to the final revelation. As the sky in the east makes this pale promise of dawn, the world feels like it's been made new, and the lesson from that long night finally becomes crystal clear. With that first light, the frost appears. And this is so cool because it connects us right back to autumn. We see the exact same underlying geometry that we saw in the leaves, the branching fractals, that universal pattern, but now it's written in a different language, a crystalline one. The world's fundamental logic has shown itself once again. And from this whole experience, a kind of vow is formed. This is it. This is the ultimate wisdom of winter. First, to keep the ember of warmth, not a bonfire, just a small, steady glow. Second, to guard the silence, because that's where new things, futures, can begin to grow. And finally, and this is so crucial, to learn the patience to act only when the pattern, the moment itself, tells you now.
So, after surviving that long night, a quieter, deeper understanding settles in. And it's this: winter isn't an identity. It's not who you are. It's a season of the self. It's a phase you move through, a time for holding steady, for witnessing, and for choosing not to act. And by honoring that silence, by keeping that ember safe, spring eventually comes back, not just outside, but inside you too. And it's not some reward for toughing it out through the cold. No, it's just a natural turning of the cycle, a shift from holding on to beginning again. Which, of course, leaves us with one last really fascinating question. We've learned to carry the experience of the long night like a lantern. We've learned its lesson is to wait, to watch, to tend to the silence. But what happens next? If winter's lesson is just to wait, how does a lantern become the morning? Well, we're going to explore that exact transformation in our next explainer.